Hey beautiful souls, welcome to another soul chat. So we've been doing a series of these soul chats based off of emotions that we may feel, specifically emotions that we feel during our parenthood, motherhood journey. And today I want to talk about loneliness. So I hear overwhelmingly from so many moms, so many parents about how they feel so alone. And today I was actually thinking about it, and I tend to think that it's not just parents, right? And it's not just mothers, but it's this whole society that kind of feels alone. And feeling alone leads to so many other common psychological quote unquote disorders, right? Like it leads to feeling depressed, it leads to feeling even stressed, anxiety, like so many different things where we just feel so disconnected from this world, actually, and more so disconnected from like the purpose of life. And so I love to keep it real with you, and I want to say, like, this eclipse season has been really heavy, and especially yesterday into today. Like yesterday, not as much as today. Today I just felt like complete death. Like I felt like my soul was dead. And maybe you can even see it in my eyes. Like I've been crying all day, and I've just been so disconnected from spirit, from God. Though I know that I am connected, I felt this overwhelming feeling of loneliness. And I was actually not even going to record this video, but because of the experience I had, I felt like I felt called to do this soul chat on loneliness and kind of the experience that I've had today, and like the channeled messages that have come to me that I need to share with all of you. So the very first thing I need you to understand is there's two parts of us that I'm going to be talking about today: our soul and our ego. Our ego is very important for us, and I really am saying that because I feel like within spirituality and like people that are diving into spirituality, we have this thing of like disconnecting from the ego, like, you know, just like not being attached to it, or just like disassociating ourselves from the ego. But the ego is actually there to help us. And in reality, when this is just a side note, when we start to think that things are bad for us, we're actually going further away from the Creator than we're getting closer to the Creator. And this is the reason why I'm saying these two aspects is because when we are leading from our soul, when we are so connected to our soul, we're actually connected to the light, we're actually connected to the Creator. And when we're in that space, we don't feel alone, because we know that we are so connected, fully embraced, just deeply rooted with the Creator, with God, whatever you call the higher power, that we can never be alone. We're just connected to everything else that the Creator has created. But when we start to believe the stories, the narratives, the programming that the society puts on us, which is this programming of you're separated, we're separated, you and I are separated, right? We're not connected. The unification that's between us is not there, it's dissolving, right? When we start to believe that we're different, that's actually our ego identifying with something that doesn't identify with the other person, and the other person's ego is not identifying with whatever you're identifying with. Simple, very simple thing. If you are a parent that doesn't feed your children things that are like highly processed, right? Versus if you're a parent that doesn't really care, you start to have these differences, right? And your ego tends to hold on to these identities that you put on yourself with these beliefs. That tells you that you are separated from this other group of people that believe in something else, right? And society does this because for many reasons, when we are unified, when we are all together and we can be in unification, we're actually very powerful. And that's how God created us. God created us to be in unity. We weren't meant to be fighting. We weren't meant to be arguing. We weren't meant to have these differences that pull us so far apart and feel hate within ourselves. And moreover, we weren't created to feel separated from the Creator, from God. We were created to always find the light and stay connected to that light, right? Like there are situations that happened, and I specifically believe this is what happened for me today. I was pulled so far away into the darkness, away from the Creator, to understand that I am always connected to the Creator, right? I'm never separated. There is no separation. And the separation is only happening because I deem to believe in that moment that I am not connected to the Creator, I'm not connected to God. And in that moment of darkness for me today, I felt so alone. I was also very much separating myself from those people that loved me and loved me, right? I was like shutting them out. I just didn't want to be around them. Their light was irritating me. I was just irritated by everything that was trying to pull me back to the light, to show me that you're not separated, you're not alone. And I think that's a message I want to leave you all with today, is that you're not alone. You're never alone. Even when you think you're alone, you're not alone, because you're always connected to that light. You're always connected to Source. You're always connected to God, universe, Spirit, Creator, whatever you call that higher power. It is always there, like, and it's always around you, within you, and it's never going to leave you, like, ever. That is never, ever, ever going to leave you. I am a absolute witness to that, because that has happened. I've been in this spot many times, but like today was very different. And I don't know why I was put in that spot today, but I think it was because to deliver this message, at least that's what I believe, and God is just trying to help me move and shift through a lot of the negativity that has been pent up in me, maybe for eons, to finally release it in this eclipse season. But that's besides the point. Loneliness, and when we feel this overwhelming feeling of loneliness, is this disconnection that we feel within us, and we feel disconnected from those that are around us. We feel disconnected from the community. We feel disconnected from where we live, maybe even our families, maybe even our government, maybe even our state, whatever it may be. And when we have this level of loneliness, often we want to stay in that darkness because it is too irritating to get out of it. It's more comfortable and more safe to stay in it, right? And in those moments when you feel lonely, feel it, sit with it. That's what I did today. I did a lot of crying. I did a lot of feeling into it. I did a lot of like just feeling the density of it, right? And then I was able to move it. Then I was able to make the choice of what is it that I really want to do. And then I was able to actually have effective tools like breathing and meditation. So that's the other thing I want to mention to you. If you are in a place of like super discomfort and you try to sit there and bypass your feelings, bypass like the heaviness or the density of whatever energy you're working with, you may have temporary relief, but you're not going to have constant relief, right? To get that like long-lasting relief, you have to feel it. You have to feel it in order to transmute it. If you don't feel it, you can't transmute it. You're just bypassing it. And what happens is it comes back again. And it comes back again. And it comes back again. And you can try to do all the things like, I'm just going to meditate through it. And like, maybe I'll feel better. I'm just going to like numb it with like all of these other things. Like, I'm just going to breathe through it. And because you're not feeling into it, those things are not going to work for you in that moment. Sometimes the best thing that works is just crying through it. And this corner of social media, this corner that you're listening to, Inner Serenity, like, I keep it real with you guys. Like, I am so tired of all of the inauthentic fakeness that's out there, especially within the spiritual community, because it's like information that isn't really helping you heal or get back to your true self, right? It's just information that's like putting band-aids over the actual stuff that we're going through, especially when we're going through a journey like motherhood, parenthood, right? There are days, guys, I'm gonna be very honest with you, there are days that I just want to like run away and not do this because it is so freaking hard. But I know I can't, right? I know I need to show up, and I ask and I pray for strength, and I pray for everything that it is that I need to fill me up so that I can be the best mother for my child. And some days I want to say most days, 90% of the time, I feel like I'm the worst mother ever. I feel like I'm failing. I feel like I'm not doing all of the things I should be doing. I feel like, he probably is filled with so much trauma in his head, and that's because we put so much pressure on ourselves. And all of these things are just kind of compounding into the loneliness, right? When we overthink, when we're constantly thinking, what do other people think of us? When we're judging ourselves, when we're not able to forgive ourselves and hold compassion and grace, we're just isolating ourselves from society. And so really the message I have for you today is, let's stop doing that. Let's stop doing that. I'll share this message with you that I got today. When we are in that place, when we're so connected to the Spirit, when we're so connected to the Creator, we feel this immense love and safety. It's like a blanket. It's just wrapped around us, is embraced around us, right? When we feel the opposite, when we're in that darkness or the loneliness, we tend to feel this overwhelming sense of grief, sadness. It's like this heavy density that's just within us, and it's like that blanket is taken off. It's like somebody stole our blanket, and it's not that somebody stole it. You took the blanket and you just put it to the side, right? God's blanket is always with you. God's love is always with you, even in the darkness, and that's what I felt today, right? I was in such a muck this afternoon that I texted my husband, and he works from home on Mondays, but when he's working, he's just working, and he took time out, and I was in the car. My son was sleeping in the car, and I had taken him for a drive, and I was just sitting in the car and just ruminating my thoughts and feeling the density that was, and I was sitting with it, and I was crying, and out of nowhere I see him pop up, and he sits in the car and he's talking to me, and then one of the things that he said, and side note, my husband is not as spiritual I am. I think he's spiritual in his own ways, but he's not, the level of spiritual. I know you want to say the level of spiritual, but he doesn't talk about this stuff. He keeps it very private to himself, and he has his own connection with God, and he does things his way. And I've never really bothered him with it, because I know that's his relationship. And so, anywho, he's like, you always say that you have to believe, and you have to anchor in your faith. And I was like, this is very interesting, because a few weeks ago, when he was feeling really stressed about something, I had told him, you just have to believe. You just have to believe. You ask and it shall be given, right? It says that in the Bible. That's based off of faith. That's based off of belief. And today, I just was so disconnected from my faith. I was so disconnected from it. And when he said that, I was just like, shit. God was working through him to get to me. I honestly believe it. The fact that he even came down to be with me and to talk me through whatever I was going through was amazing in itself. But the fact that those words came out of his mouth, I knew that it was a message for me. And in that moment, I knew I had to just work through whatever I was feeling. I had to feel it, really embrace it, and then just remember that even in the feelings of sadness and loneliness and whatever density I was feeling, I'm not alone. I'm not separated. I'm actually so connected, even though I feel so disconnected. My son's home today from daycare, and so when he's home, it's very hard for me to manage my own emotional and mental state, because I don't always have ample time to do it. I'm always doing something to take care of him. And today I was like, you know what, I'm going to put myself first, and I'm just going to take care of him, but I need to take care of myself. And so I put on this movie about miracles, and actually it was on Netflix, so it's a really old movie. It's from 2016, and it was the first one. It was suggested for you, and I was like, all right, I think God wants me to watch this movie. So I watched it, and in the movie, the in the last scene, one of the mothers that's in the movie, the main character, she talks about how she lost her faith, and she realized that even though she lost her faith, it didn't mean that the blessings and the miracles weren't there. It didn't mean that she was alone. She was never alone. It's just she couldn't see it. It's because she had those blinders on, right? And so that's my message to you today. You're not alone. And when you feel alone, work through sitting with it, because when you can sit with it, you can transmute it. And when you feel like, okay, I can actually feel the dread of this loneliness, that's when you can allow the light of the Creator to come in you, allow the love that's already around you, let it come in and let it transmute that density and let it move it through. And then I suggest that you get out into nature, do a walk, do something to move your body so you can move the energy within you. And the last thing I want to say is this message that I had about, let's get back to community, right? Like, let's get back to helping each other out. If you are feeling alone, ask for help. But if you know that maybe somebody else, a friend, a family member, a neighbor, a coworker is just really off, give them your love, because that is going to help them understand that they are not alone. And your kindness, your grace, your compassion is so powerful. It's so powerful that it can actually change the other person's life completely, right? And it doesn't require you to do much. It just requires you to be kind. It just requires you to check in on people and make sure they're okay. I feel like through time, because of all of this fear of disconnection, of like, oh, if I'm close to somebody, if I'm vulnerable with somebody, will they take advantage of me? Will they hurt me? Or because we've been hurt, because we have pain within us, we've just forgotten to be human. We've forgotten to smile at each other. We've forgotten to ask each other if we're okay. We've forgotten to say, hey, like, are you having a bad day? What can I do to support you? That kindness that's coming from our heart is connecting us to the other person, and that love is the connection of God. We're choosing to stay disconnected and to stay lonely because we don't know how to operate in a community anymore. And so if you feel like you're alone, ask for help. And if you are not alone, you can help the problem by actually just creating a community. And it doesn't have to be a big community, right? Like, I'm not saying like go out there and do some like charity work or create an organization. No, a community can just be you and your neighbor and like someone else. Or maybe if you have kids, like the parents of the kids, like you guys can check in with each other. Or maybe it's just your friends, or maybe it's just your family, whatever that looks like. But stay connected to the people that are around you, because it does take a village to help each other out. And as we are taking care of each other and creating this community and staying unified, we're able to really fight against all of this fear and this programming that's put on us to separate us, to make us feel like we're separated, to make us feel like we're lonely. And that is not the way that this world was created by our Creator. It wasn't created like that at all. It was created for us to stay together, stay as a community, and help each other out. We all have skills and we all have talent that we're really, really, really good at, right? And like, they're gifts that were given to us. They're different gifts from God that are being shared with everybody else through us, right? And when we put all of those gifts together, that's God. That's God. But when we try to stay separated, we're not able to feel the connectedness and the love that God always intended us to have, right? And so that's my final message. And with that, I want to just invite you again to Sunday's webinar on overcoming stress in parenthood, where I'm going to be talking a little bit about what stress is, the components of it, the science of it. We'll talk about the nervous system, how it's all related, and we'll do a bunch of exercises to help you in those moments of stress. and come with your questions, because I'm gonna have time to answer questions, but even do some coaching, like some live coaching, so that I can actually real life show you how this all stuff all works. I am so grateful for all of you. I love you all so very much. Peace, love, and light. May the light and love in me be shared with you.